Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, rock stars, I know you guys have been waiting to hear what I have to say about that, whatever the hell it was that happened on Saturday. I have not wanted to do a video, not because I didn't have an opinion on it, because you know that I did, but I felt like it was going to be a waste of my time because I had a feeling that YouTube was going to flag me. You know, they've been on a flagging spree with me lately. And so it made me not want to jump on and talk about the events of Saturday. So part of this is going to be pretty much cold talk because I've got to really make sure that I censor my words because I needs to get my money. Okay, that is first and foremost. That is the most important here. Okay, so yeah, you guys, listen. And another reason why I hadn't got on here to talk about it is because honestly, I don't really know what to make of it. Of course, at the very forefront of my mind, I feel like it was this plot to make YSAP stronger, make him look better, kind of, you know, a martyr-like situation where, you know, because it's always all this talk about how, you know, he's taking the country back and, you know, how, you know, the people are against him and it's going to be a bloodbath and all of the things that he has said, fear-mongering, which I've told you guys that is what he does. So part of me, of course, feels like, yeah, this was just another attempt to, well, not an attempt, actually. It was successful in the sense that now his base is very much revved up and ready to support, and kind of like the audacity that you guys would try to do something to their beloved candidate, that now they are really going to support and maybe even gain some more people who feel sorry for him, because why should you be threatened to be unalived if you just because you are running for office? Okay, if anything, you know, this person should be trying to make the country better. And so, yeah, of course I can see the obvious reasons why this situation has helped him. But then there's another part of me that's just sort of like, it just doesn't, like when I watch it, that part of me that just goes, you know, that was awful close. You know, to plan something like that and to be like that close, like, I don't know if I don't even give a damn if it was a true sniper. I don't know if I would be okay with someone getting that close to putting a bullet in my head, you know, all in the name of setting this whole thing up. I mean, it was clear that the man actually was hit, you know, when he did his hand like that. You know, we've seen the pictures of the blood, even though I know people will say that can be created and everything. But that part of me, that logical part of me, is just sort of like, but God, I mean, that really, I don't even know, YSAP doesn't strike me as that good of an actor. Okay, but you know, I obviously can be wrong, and we know with technology and the way, but the way that, I mean, the whole story is just weird to me. The story is weird to me that this young kid was able to scale this building that wasn't even that far away in the grand scheme of things, that had been scoped out by people that were already there, letting the police know that this kid was up there on that roof, and really nobody followed up on it, you know. So then it kind of makes you feel like, who exactly was the one that set this up? Secret Service, we've known them to be on it 100% at all times, 24/7. For them to have something that slips up this big, this monumentally, it then starts to feel like, okay, who exactly would have set this up? Maybe it wasn't even YSAP. Was this something that, you know, goes even further, goes even deeper? And then, of course, you can't speak to the kid because the kid was unalived up on that roof, okay? And, you know, so you never will be able to get his side. But even hearing his background story of, you know, him being a loner, you know, being bullied in school and all that, it's still like the whole story is just weird to me. The story is weird to me, and I'm not ready to put my, like, everything into saying that anything happened, because honestly I just do not know. Okay, I just do not know. But what I do know is that this has done nothing but help him. And I know that if you are somebody like me who has just been watching this, and every time since Saturday, media has been all over this, I just shake my head. I just feel like, gosh, I mean, it is so hard to have hope that he will be defeated because all this has happened. Okay, it's like he has got the nation in by the balls, you guys. It's like he can, everything is just revolving around him. This is something that he loves because he believes that, you know, he is the end all be all. And then now everything is all about him. And of course, with the convention going on, and we know that that's going to be a week of just Republican, and listening to the speeches and all that. We're going to talk about that in a second. But, yeah, it's been way too much. It's been way too much. I can't even watch the news because they don't just do a little story on it. I mean, the whole damn news is all about YSAP and what happened with him, and I'm just over it. Okay. But yeah, just watching that video and you know, him actually getting hit and going down and getting up. I mean, even that look on his face was very, it looked like he was in shock. Like he did do his hand, you know, kind of like, you know, fight or whatever he said. But then right after that, he really did look like he was sort of like in Twilight Zone. Like he didn't really know what was going on and couldn't believe what had happened to him. So I just watched that and I was like, yeah, I don't know. But I figured with the way that they have been talking, that something like this was going to happen, whether it was plotted or not. I felt like we were going to have some violence, you know, that involved a pow. I had a feeling like that, something was like that was going to happen, because that has just been what the temperature of the nation has been lately, you know. So there's that. Of course, the Democrats, always going to be politically correct, all have their sorrow. I mean, you know, all have their sympathy for what has happened. And while I do understand that this is bigger than YSAP, you know, this is a situation where, you know, you don't want to set this standard, this precedent that goes on even in future elections and all that. So that is why Biden and his team have to all, you know, they're canceling not performances, but maybe it is shit. They're canceling appearances and different meetings and things that they had planned, all because it doesn't look appropriate, even though YSAP is going forward with the whole thing because, you know, it makes him look better. But it's also frustrating that the Democrats have to now be that, you know, they have to be that one that says, oh, you know, violence is never the answer and we can't have something like this in our democracy and da-da-da-da-da. And, child, I'm telling you, it's like almost, it feels like you're fighting a losing battle. You know, it really does feel like that. I like to feel deep down inside that, you know, even though the media is focusing on what is going on right now, I would still like to believe that people have common sense and realize that this is all just a facade. This is all just a lot of hyped up drama, you know, that was ushered in by what happened at that rally out in Pennsylvania or wherever it was. Okay. But like I said, the RNC is going on now. And we did see that YSAP not only did he show up, but he also announced who his vice president was going to be, the nominee, or the person that he is going to be running with. His running mate is J.D. Vance, okay? And J.D. Vance, from all intents and purposes, everyone is saying that he is a miniature Trump, that he has pretty much the exact same policy that Trump has, and that is the reason why Trump picked him. We know that, oh boy, the black one, you know, we knew that he was really trying to gun for that position as well. I thought that maybe he was going to be selected, since they are really trying to garner the black vote. But I think people realize that black people don't see it for him. Okay, so they had to go with, you know, and YSAP needs somebody that's young and pliable, that he can really truly control. You know, when we talk about who his other vice president was, Pence, at the end of the day, you know, YSAP was disappointed in Pence because, you know, he was going to uphold the Constitution when it really came down to it, and that's why January 6th happened. This time we have this young guy, 39. They say he's the youngest ever running mate, you know, 39 years old. And, you know, what they say about these policies that they're promising is going to be coming in the year 2025. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. This is code right here. But definitely they're saying that he is like the walking epitome of what can we call it? Apartment number 2025. Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. Ghetto apartment number 2025. All right. So, not surprising. When they showed him at the RNC, him and his wife, they said that they just told them 20 minutes before they told the world, basically, that he was going to be the running mate. That, you know, they didn't really have time to really process it. When you saw him and his wife walking down that aisle, he was shaking hands and smiling, and that wife looked shell-shocked. Like, she was just kind of smiling like, you know, like, I cannot believe this. And she has been thrust into this whole thing. I mean, I'm sure she kind of had an idea that maybe it can happen. But it's interesting because they say that this Vance character didn't even like Trump at one time. Okay. But him, probably like a lot of people that's jumping on board. I saw that stupid ass Mitch McConnell, you know, giving the thumbs up yesterday. I was just like, oh, you guys are all just so just, how quickly they flip, you guys. It's because nobody, they realize where the power is and where and that is what is most important to them. So instead of having their dignity and, you know, their morals and their values and their beliefs, they will flip all that over as long as they can stay in power, which is a lot of the reason why all these old ass people are still are still trying to run. It's like, again, Pelosi, love the lady to death. Thank you for your service and everything. But girl, why is she, and it's all because I have told you guys many times. that the longer that you stay in power, that is the longer that there is a chance for you to abuse your power. Okay, it's because you don't want to let it go. All right, I need the old people, and I know this is going to sound ageist and everything, but I don't give a fuck no more, you guys. It's like, I need people to realize that there are younger people that can carry the torch. You know, maybe it's time to just let it go. But anyway, getting back to the RNC. Frustrating. I usually don't even pay attention to the RNC, and this time is no different. However, when you're on social media, of course, you see all these things. You know, it's in your face. First thing this morning when I opened up Instagram, I saw that damn Amber Rose's face on the screen. Looks very nice, pretty, and everything. But listening to the words that came out of her mouth, I was like, bitch, you ain't never fucking got to worry about. How many times have I sat up here and defended Amber Rose? Okay, we talked about that stupid ass slut walk mess. Okay, felt sorry for her when she and Wiz broke up. All right, felt sorry for her when her and 21 Savage broke up. Even tried to defend the fact that, she's in this really precarious position because she's had a black experience and a white experience, and she's light skinned, and black people may have treated her differently and all that. I have defended Amber Rose, but listen, bitch, never again. Never again, because I felt like that speech was a slap in the fucking face. I felt personally attacked. That's how I felt when I watched it. I shook my head, and just like Joseph, one of the Roxstars, told me how quickly people forget. But when we really mean we gonna get rid of your ass, not get rid of you, but when we really mean that we are done with you, just check back to how Chrisette Michele fared after she sang at the, at the balls and shit for YSAP, and remember how much she had defended him and everything. And Chrisette didn't even go as hard as Amber Rose is going, okay? Chrisette wasn't talking at the RNC, okay? But you better believe, bitch, I ain't never seen it for your ass. Ever again. Ever again. We are not going to forget this. When she said, now she knows that these are her people. This is where she belongs. Really? You said that her father was the one that made her realize that YSAP is not a racist. And I just was like, it's amazing to me how people can get up there and say things about YSAP and just completely turn your back on your community. But she doesn't feel like she's a part of this community, and more she doesn't feel like it, and that's the reason why she can get up there and say the things that I was just like, bitch, you got to be fucking kidding me. Okay, how much have they paid her? How much have they paid her? There was a girl that I posted on my Instagram that was talking about how they have been going after like black male entertainers. And that's why you see all these rappers starting to flip, because they actually are paying black entertainers to support YSAP and, the Republicans and all that. And, I always see those kind of things, and I just feel like it's an opinion, and, you take it for whatever it's worth. But I was like, there is definitely some truth to that, and I even feel like they have paid other people. The funny thing about it, though, is the people that they may have paid, I don't know for a fact that that's the thing, but if they did pay these people, these are definitely black folks that we don't give a fuck about. Not like that. Now, when you start getting the ones that we really do care about, then it would be something else. But we don't give a fuck about Amber. We don't give a fuck about Waka. Kodak Black can go somewhere. And all these other ones that have decided to support YSAP. Listen, support who you support. Okay? And it's fine. That's fine. That's what you want to do. But I just, Amber Rose, I just saw that, and, she was smiling, and you could tell that she just felt like she had everybody's attention and all that. And I was just like, girl, you ain't never. And y'all know I am a girl's girl. I see it for women. I believe that women got to do what they got to do and everything. But bitch, you ain't never got to worry about you. Shit. I know I shouldn't even be taking this personally. And I already told you guys that I'm not even going to be letting them get my dander up. But this past few days, it has been very hard. I mean, the minute you turn, I have only been watching HGTV, okay, and Hallmark Channel, and my game shows. That's it, because I just cannot, you guys. Anyway, moving on from that. We also saw that YSAP, they did drop the charges, that case against him where he, where he had taken a lot of evidence, a lot of top secret type of files and boxes from the White House, and had them at his Mar-a-Lago, and they had to go in there and pretty much go break in and get the shit because he was not turning it over. They've dropped that case because the judge says that the special counsel that was assigned to the case was unconstitutional. Okay, So I guess it sounds like it's a technicality or something, the reason why it's done. Like, you guys know I don't know the law like that. So, you know, the real Rockstar lawyers, the real ones, y'all just chime in on that. But they're saying that it was unconstitutional, and that was the reason why those charges were dropped for now. Okay. And again, everything just feels like everything is working out in his favor. It's just craziness. And part of me just cannot wait for, if that man does happen to win, which just leaves a bad taste in my mouth to say that, but part of me just wants to, if the man happens to win, you know, and when shit start falling apart and when people start realizing that it's not all peaches and cream and rainbows and fluffy clouds and all that, when it comes to YSAP, then we'll see what folks have to say. But I don't want to get to that point. But, you know, we may, you guys. But that's pretty much it, you guys. I mean, you can go on and on about it. I feel like I've talked about it long enough. It says 20 minutes already here. And I'm just over this whole thing. It's just so much going on. And again, the Democrats, you know, they're having to kind of like eat crow with this whole thing, because there's no way that they can look right battling any of this, okay? When, you know, if it was the other way around, that YSAP would have just been like, oh, well, okay, that's what they get because look at what they doing to the country and da-da-da-da-da. Yet and still, you know, we've got Biden and all this having to have all these meetings and all this about it and reaching out to YSAP and it's just so frustrating. It is frustrating. But anyway, you guys, we're going to move on from that. Y'all let me know what you think about all that. Do you believe that it was set up? Do you believe that it was a real situation? Like, how do you feel? Did it change your views on YSAP? Do you feel sorry for him? You guys just leave all that about this weird ass craziness and let me move on to the next story. All right, you guys, I guess since we're talking about the legal system and whatnot, so we can talk about, I can update you guys on the YSL trial. Looks like that trial might be about to be a wrap on that, because remember I told you guys last week, or in my last Top of the Blogs, that they were considering recusing Judge Glanville from the YSL case because he had went and had a secret meeting with the prosecution, and one of the witnesses, I didn't realize it was also one of the witnesses that was on the case, and their lawyer had the secret meeting and essentially had kind of started to jump over into the prosecution side. So they felt like he was losing his impartiality, and so they were like, no, he needs to be recused. He said that he wouldn't recuse himself, so then another lawyer for one of the other witnesses stepped in and said, or one of the other defendants, I should say, stepped in and said, no, he needs to try to recuse himself. No, he needs to be recused, and had another judge asked that another judge would, you know, look over the case and see if they were right about that. The problem was Judge Glanville, from what I understand, he's like the chief judge there. So there were really nobody that was above him. I guess at best there would be people that were on his level, or maybe not even that. But so it was making it seem like they were going to be having people that were under him, you know, saying whether or not he needed to be recused. But that's what they ended up doing. And the woman, I forgot to get her name. Did I get her name? Judge Rachel Cross. Rachel Cross did say that Judge Glanville needed to be recused from the case. So he is off the case, which means the case has no judge right now, which means the case is on hold. And then remember, I was talking to you guys about double jeopardy and them saying that they would go through this case all over again and how that wouldn't be legal. So it might look like, you know, this whole case is over. Extreme waste of time. I guess prosecution has really pretty much shown their hand, and the hand sucks. Okay, you guys ain't winning poker today. Okay, a definite smear on Fannie Willis's record, because, girl, what the hell? Okay, we all remember when they scooped all of them up It's been over a year now and nothing. You guys have bupkis, okay? So people are now asking that Young Thug is released and all the rest of them, because you've been holding these people in jail for a long time, and there's nothing that has come of it. And I have a feeling that is exactly what is going to end up happening. The DA's office is declining comment. I said, I bet they are, okay? Because this is not good. But they do believe, everybody wanted to make it clear that they felt like Judge Glanville would have still been able to preside over this case and keep his, making sure that he was fair and keeping the scales of justice balanced and everything. However, they felt like in order to uphold the public's, in order to keep the public's trust, because the public, they know how it looks to the public, that's the reason why they removed him. Okay, so I was like, oh, so you guys are just removing him because of public pressure? No, you guys know good and damn well that Glanville overstepped and did a whole lot that he wasn't supposed to do. You ain't even got to be a fucking lawyer to know that this man shouldn't be in no secret meeting with the prosecution and the witness and their lawyer, and the defense don't know nothing about it. Okay, that is just, we know that. So, it's a mess. But yeah, it looks like it is going to, it looks like it's going to happen. It looks like they're going to end up dropping that case. And, maybe y'all might see Young Thug in the studio soon. Okay, let's move on to the next story. I have a few people that have died, you guys. They say it happens in threes. And in this case, July 12th and July 13th, we had 3 people die that were beloved for many of us. Let's start with on July 12th. We had Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth passed. Dr. Ruth was a sexologist back in the 80s and 90s, but really in the 80s. That was this little German lady that was known for talking about sex education, basically, but was talking about sex very unfiltered, very freely. Something that was not done in the 80s. Today, Dr. Ruth wouldn't have been such a phenomenon. Okay, because, you can listen to any rap song and half of the stuff that they saying today, honey, I don't know, it might even made Dr. Ruth blush. But back then, where it was very much hush-hush and people weren't talking about it and saying the words, vagina on I don't even know if I should say that, because I feel like YouTube might flag me for that, you guys. So I'm probably going to blank that out. But, talking about sexual parts and talking about sexual freedom and talking about, what you should do to make you feel good and to make your partner feel good. And she talked about this at the time where AIDS, the epidemic, was huge, and the LGBTQ community were suffering. If it wasn't because they were getting ill or dying, it was also because of just the what is the word, just the fact that they were a part of that community. I can't think of the word. You guys know the word that I'm talking about. But they were suffering in many ways, and people were shunning them and all. And she kind of was the one that made talking about sex and talking about even disease and talking about all of that very open. And she did a lot. I think that she is many of the reasons why people were more open to talking about AIDS, the epidemic, as time went on, and sex, period, you guys. So yeah, they said she passed on the 12th. She was 96 years old, you guys. So, I don't know if she died from anything per se. She may have just lived her life. She lived her life. They said that she died in New York around her friends and family. Then we had Richard Simmons, you guys. This one was pretty sad for me because I knew that Richard Simmons had become a recluse. We haven't seen him in a long time. I feel like I've talked about this on Top of the Blogs a few months ago, maybe a year or two ago. But it was like, it had got to the point where it was just like, where is Richard Simmons? Like, what is going on? And you guys, they said that he had become a recluse. I felt like he probably had gained his weight back and just did not ever want to be seen like that again. But I don't know that for a fact. But they said that in 2015, Richard Simmons kind of just went away. That was the last time that really he had been seen or photographed. 2015, 2016. That was the last time that they had seen or photographed him publicly. And he pretty much was a recluse, I guess, for the rest of his life in his home. You know, every now and then he would say that, I think that they said like in 2018 or 19, he had got on Instagram or got on social media and said that he was fine. He hadn't been kidnapped. He wasn't dead. You know, there was nothing wrong. It's just that he has chosen to, you know, be away from the public eye for right now. But that went on for pretty much almost a decade. I even saw interview yesterday. They were talking on Entertainment Tonight. They were talking to his brother, and they asked him if when was the last time he actually saw him. His own brother said he hadn't seen him in 6.5 years. Okay. But he spoke to him on the phone all the time, so he knew that he was there and all, but he had not seen him. So I was just having a feeling that maybe Richard Simmons, maybe he had gained his weight back. But they did say that, well, the brother said that he was just in the middle of flipping things around and was about to come back out, and that he was writing a play about his life and all that they was hoping would be picked up on Broadway, and maybe something like that still will happen. But yeah, the brother was feeling hopeful and saying that he felt like maybe his brother was going to be making a comeback, but he never did, you guys. And so we don't even know how he died. We don't know if he had been sick. The brother made it seem like he had not been sick, but we don't know that for a fact. But he was 76 years old, you guys, and he only lived in his home with his, they say with his like a maid. I don't want to say maid. I don't want to say servant, but you know, like he had one person that lived there also with him who must have been extremely loyal to him, because they never have leaked or said anything. But that was the person that contacted the authorities, letting them know that, you know, Richard Simmons had passed. So that was on the 13th. We also found out on the 13th that, you guys, Shannon Doherty had passed, and that one really broke my heart, because we knew that she had been battling breast cancer and had been battling it for years, almost 10 years. They said that she got it back in 2015. That was when she found out that she had breast cancer, and then it went into remission around the end of 2017, the beginning of 2018, somewhere in there. And then she said in 2019 it came back, you know. And anytime when the cancer comes back, you know, it comes back with a vengeance. And this time it had spread to her bones and to her brain, and so she has been fighting it. But she said that the second round of fighting it has been very difficult for her, probably the hardest thing that she's ever had to fight in her life. And then, you guys, on July 13th she did lose that battle, and I was just so sad, because I had seen so many interviews of her talking about her trying to fight it, and how you know, she wasn't afraid of dying, but she didn't want to die because she had so much still left that she wanted to do. I mean, it's sad, you guys, and you guys know. Anyway, I just was heartbroken, you guys. She is somebody that I never watched I never watched Beverly Hills 90210, but that was definitely Debbie's show. Like, Debbie watched Melrose Place and 90210 and Ally McBeal and all those shows. Not that she was on all those shows, but she, you know, during that era, 90210 was a big deal. We found out that she had that it had came back right when they were doing the reboot of it, and we had the other guy pass. What's his name? Luke. I can't think of his name right now, but he had passed, and now we have her pass, and I'm just so sad, you guys. Just so sad. Definitely a time out of my I won't say my teens, because I wasn't in my teens. I was in my 20s at that time, but definitely a time when yeah, just a piece of our past gone. So I was heartbroken to hear that. She was only 53 years old. So yeah, she did have a lot left to live for. But you guys know that cancer, I mean, it is a bitch. Like, it is just awful, you guys. I don't even know what else to say about it, but fuck cancer. But anyway, yeah, like I said, you guys, they say it happens in threes. So those were definitely our threes. Happened real quick. Didn't even have to wait to see who else it was going to happen to. But rest in peace to Dr. Ruth, Richard Simmons, and Shannon Doherty. And then lastly, you guys, I'm not going to talk about this long because I need to get out of here. But look, I did watch DivorceInTheBlack. That's right, you guys. I took one for the team, okay? Because Mr. had then explained to me how stupid the beginning was. And I just was like, I'm not watching it. I am not watching it because I'm telling you, the last Tyler Perry movie that I watched that I was just like, never again, was the movie with Taraji P. Henson when she was like the woman scorned and came back and on the boat and all that shit. Okay, after that, I was like, nigga, you ain't never got to worry about me watching none of your shit ever again. Okay? I watched it because I liked Taraji and I just felt like, okay, he had a big name in his movie. And so I tried to support, but I tried to even watch that Mea Culpa with Kelly Rowland because we all love Kelly and I couldn't even do it. First 15 minutes, the way that white lady was talking to that lady at that table, I was just like, no, because it's not even realistic. And so I wasn't going to watch DivorceInTheBlack either, but you know, I know that you guys get annoyed with me when I say I'm not going to watch something and then I get on here and I have an opinion about it. And you guys are like, you didn't even watch the whole thing. I mean, you just going by clips. So I was like, you know what? Yesterday while I was driving around town doing things and running errands and whatnot, I had it on. Okay. I felt like that was a way that I can do it if I didn't have to dedicate sitting down and watching the bullshit, you know, straight. And so what I will say is Tyler Perry kind of does it to himself sometimes. Like, for him to have the beginning of that movie where they go and take the damn man, the brother, out of the casket, when that is something that is so unrealistic and ridiculous. And like somebody said, all these black tropes that they just, you know, Tyler Perry is great for coming up with these things that black people are, you know, it's just... Who does that? Who does that? Okay. I was like, is it supposed to be a comedy? When people were telling me about it, like, is it supposed to be a comedy? No, it's not supposed to be a comedy. This is serious. Okay. And I don't know how anybody was able to keep a straight face in that scene with the evil ass mother, you know, and it's always the same with Tyler Perry. As much as Tyler Perry talks about how much he loves his mom and how much, you know, he has this thing with black women. There's black women that's either evil as hell or damsel in distress. He don't know no other kind. Okay. And so seeing that at the beginning of the movie, I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to sit through this? How am I going to sit through this? Because this is crazy. Like, where is it in America that you can actually go and bury somebody in your backyard? I don't even think that is legal. Anyway, child. But what I will say is the rest of the movie, while it wasn't nothing that I felt like we was going to be getting any awards or anything for, the rest of the movie, I was just like, okay, it's not nothing great, but it's not that horrible. It's not that bad. But I feel like Tyler Perry, the way that he started that movie made me and made other people just feel like another Tyler Perry bullshit. And that he's turned off people that might have heard about it because he had the shenanigans like this. Like, why are you doing stupid shit like this? Why are you doing stupid shit like this when the rest of the movie was okay? Okay? It wasn't nothing fantastic. It wasn't even nothing good. It was just like, okay, you know. What I will say is Megan Good is a good actress, and so is Corey Hardrick. I thought that they all did very well in their roles. Okay. But the storyline is just stupid. And I know people are going to say, you know, Tyler Perry is the only one that pays the people what they worth. And I was like, Tyler Perry is smart. He knows to get people that black folks like and support, have them in his movies, and yes, pay them, because nobody is going to want to attach themselves to this bullshit ass script that you just gave us. All right. So pay the people, and then they will attract the audience that will watch, you know, other than the typical Tyler Perry fan, because Tyler Perry has a fan that is like, I feel like they have a profile. Okay, so yeah, I feel like Tyler Perry is smart in that sense. So he paid Corey very well for 3 weeks. You see that Corey said it was the best he's ever been paid for 3 weeks of his time. It took them 3 weeks to make that movie. 3 weeks, child. Okay, and same with Megan. You know, she said, and I've heard other people, Cicely Tyson, Taraji P. Henson, all these people saying how Tyler Perry pays them. So nobody's gonna say the man is cheap. That's not the problem. The problem is this motherfucker need to trust somebody to write his stuff. If that's all he got to do, you got the money and the way, you know, you got the studio, you can do it. Make sure it gets made and greenlit. You can greenlight your own stuff. You can do all that. If you would just get your writers together, you would have such a better quality movie. Like that movie, even though it was very predictable, you already knew how it was gonna go and everything. Because that's a story that's been told and told and told again. But if you would have had the right writers handling that, first of all, they would have nixed that stupid ass first 15 minutes of the movie. Okay, they would have cut it out. All right. And that's probably the reason why Tyler don't want it cut out, because he want to keep that kind of shit in there. Okay, because that's all a part of the whole black experience. We gonna take a motherfucker out the casket, okay, and throw his ass in the back of the truck and take him and bury him in our backyard. I was just like, what white people think when they watch shit like they think that black people is fucking crazy. And they gotta think that, y'all. They gotta think that. So, you know, I didn't feel like the movie was all that bad, but the beginning of the movie is the exact reason why we don't like Tyler Perry movies. Because and then of course the characters in his movies are all very like I just told you, the damsel in distress, even though Megan finally does turn it around. But you know, this whole overwhelming love for this man that clearly should not be overwhelmingly in love with. You know, and then Corey just being this all out evil, crazy, even though you have seen men like that, you have seen men that have just made it up in their mind that even though they're the ones, like they're the king of gaslighting somebody, they're the ones that fucked it up. However, they, in their brain, just believe that it's the fault of the other person. He was the one that initiated the divorce, but then turned it around and said she was cheating on him and all that. So all those things are realistic, but when you put it all together in a Tyler Perry package, the shit is bullshit. But it's okay, because just like I watched it, you know, he got that view, okay? And he's making the money. Netflix, Amazon Prime, all these different places are paying for these movies because it almost comes to be like a camp movie. Like people start to watch, you guys, I got to get off of here. People start to watch these things because it's very camp cultish, Tyler Perry. We'll probably talk about these movies in 20, 30, 40 years and just be like, oh yeah, them old Tyler Perry movies. You know, it's like watching some old ass blaxploitation type movies. You know, the way that we talk about those is probably how we'll talk about Tyler Perry movies in the future as well. Okay, he needs to go back to comedy, even though the comedy movies was stupid too. But Medea, I'm always gonna laugh at Medea. I'm always going to laugh at Medea. Okay, I think that's where he needs to be. If he's going to insist on writing the shit himself, stick to comedy. But if you want to have these serious subjects and you really want to have a drama and not a dramedy, okay, then get you some writers, pay the people. That's all. Okay, but yeah, the movie, y'all let me know what you thought about it. Was it quality acting, quality movie script? Put all that below. I forgot to talk about them damn parents. You know, oh Lord, we love you, and we so proud of you. It was just like, why do you sound like that? Why you talk like that? Oh no, child, we didn't. It's almost like oh child. Anyway, let me get off. All right, you guys, I got to get off of here because I am about to be late to my meeting. All right, we do this every single week, Tuesdays and Fridays. So make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.